if I talk like this, can you hear me in your ears twice?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Look at this. We're all fancy graphics and everything. My name is Captain Ames Force. We are here at the EACS 2025 draw. This is going to go Champions League style for all of those who know how that is. Ex-Champions League style, I guess. They don't do a pot anymore. But guys, on my this side is Infinity, and on my that side is Cal. Infinity, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing fine. I'm really impressed that you managed to get the direction right, because it's something that I never managed to do on broadcast. I'm always like, yeah, he's over there. And then I always get it wrong. But it's all good. We're good. Ready to get into this. Really excited for EACS this year.
Perfect. And Cal?
Yeah, I mean, same thing you said, man. Same thing you said. You get that, even though you did say on this side, to be fair, you didn't say it right to left. So that quite something, anyways. We are excited to be here, man. We are excited to be here, man. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, for those who aren't aware of how this works, we have had 16 teams, 8 from EU, 8 from Africa, that's what these guys know, who have qualified to the EACS through a pretty intense looking bracket. If we're honest, we have split, the chat and the guys at the UCE have split these teams into 4 pots. Let's bring up those pots so we can see who is in what pot. Pot 1 and 2 are going to be... Voila. Maybe. There we go. Pot A and Pot B are EU. Pot C and Pot D are the African teams. Infinity, if you look at Pot A and B, obviously A is the best EU teams. Who do you think is the best chance here?
I mean, like, you kind of almost have to gravitate towards Animus, right? I mean, Animus now, this is back-to-back champions in Europe, exclusive, unfortunately, kind of falling at the final hurdle, like 3 seasons of Snapdragon Pro Series in a row now. So it almost would feel kind of weird to not say Animus in this situation. I believe that Spirit is another team that I'm going to give a lot of love to, because they are the team, I believe, formerly known as the Special Suicide Squad. Yep. And those guys were super impressive, not just in UEC earlier this year, but also in the latest season of the Snapdragon Pro Series. So I think looking towards that group, it definitely should be Animus, but don't count out Spirit.
Excellent. And Cal, from the Pot C and D, obviously Pot C, the best teams from Africa. What's your idea of the best team in there?
Yeah, I'm personally going to go for PDX, but there's also the factor where we have seen Series 7. They are currently one of the most dominant teams in Africa. They've won most of the African lands, and well, if you are going to look at history and past victories, you should be going towards Series 7. But then PDX, a lot of these players are formerly cast esports players, and T1 teams have actually won a lot of trophies too. So they might be new, but the players are definitely not new to the scene. So I think PDX there looking to be the strongest team in that pot there.
Excellent. I'm seeing a lot of people in YouTube chat saying NATO is going to win the whole thing. So maybe they're just NATO fans. But yeah, the way we're going to do this, why don't we get started? We're going to start with Pot A. The way we're going to do this is pretty simple. We're going to draw from the pot. We're going to draw which group which pool they're going to be in. And then we're also going to draw the position in the pool, because that is going to affect who matches up with who on what day as we kick off next week. So if we bring back to us, we should be able to bring up the wheel for Pot A and get this underway. Boom.
Awesome.
Like so. This side, yes. Woo! There we go. Let's spin the wheel and see who is the first from Pot A that we'll be putting into a pool.
This is very slow.
Yeah, this will be. That's not spinning already, by the way. Don't imagine that's spinning already.
This is. I thought this was spinning already. I was like, yeah, it's gonna stop in a second.
There we go.
That's fast. That's
It
really
auto
fast.
spins. It auto spins.
Alrighty. Oh, are we getting Animus straight into a pot?
Oh,
Oh, no, never mind. All right,
not quite.
NW International. So this is the team I think I know the least about. We don't have the rosters yet for all of these squads, but I'm intrigued to see kind of what this squad does. You know, being the least known of the 4 in Pot A, they have a lot, I think, to kind of prove in this team.
yeah, and I believe that we also have a video for each of these teams, so maybe we can show a little 30-second trailer, so you can see.
I want to see that.
Can see what these teams are like. Chat has put together some highlights for us, so I'm quite excited to see. I know there are plenty of highlights for like Animus and exclusive and stuff, but I'm ready to see this.
Yep.
Yep. I'm going to make a joke about this when we come back in. That's fine. Oh. Hey, everybody. God. Incredible highlights. Oh, goodness.
Very, very bad. Beautiful. I was
Well, I
literally
didn't know what
jumping.
to expect, and I
You should have
still
seen it,
don't.
guys.
You know, you can just.
That
be
was actually
disappointed
a
forever.
highlight of Bobby Play's Only Ever Nuke. As you can tell, it didn't happen.
Wow.
That's-
Never did that.
That's tough. That's tough out there. All right.
Oh, jeez.
Deary, mate. Let us move on and draw from a pool. Let's see which pool NRW are going to go into. Yeah, it's going to be, unsurprisingly, Infinity, A, B, C, or D.
What? No.
Who'd have thought it? Who would have thought it? Obviously, as these go, that's the third part of this. We're throwing sneakies, but basically they will obviously be put into A1, A2, A3, or A4 if they were in pot A. Same goes for all the other pots, and that is to, like, we already have the schedule. Pot B? I think it's pot B. It's
There
pot
we
B.
go.
Looks like pot
Hey.
B.
It's got, yeah,
Cool.
it's me.
So if we go to pool B, this is going extremely well. I can tell you that much. We will then be able to draw them into B1, B2, B3, and B4 because I have a schedule here somewhere that I can tell you who is playing who as we work on some very exciting technical things. And I have to scroll back very, very far to find where this went. But there is a schedule already, so I can tell you. Here we go. Boom. Next week, we kick off on the 2nd of June, where it will be A1 and A2, and A3 and A4. So pot A going to be the 2nd of June. Pot B is going to be the 3rd of June. Pot C on the 5th, and pot D on the 6th. So, yeah, next week, 4 pots. I'm pretty excited, and I don't know about you guys, but I think the way that this works, that it's not going to be, say, the top EU versus top Africa in 1 week, I think is very exciting. Like, what do you think, Cal? Like, how do you feel that it's going to go having a potentially exciting matchup every single week?
Yeah, I think that's the thing about, after the qualifiers, which were also exciting, and then now we're there where we know every single team there, they struggled, they worked really hard to actually get here. So we are expecting the top of the top tier gameplays here. So yeah, I am really excited to see what these guys are going to bring to that main stage, man. I am excited. Very.
And Infinity?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited to see kind of what the African team's going to bring to the table. I think we've heard so
A
much.
lot of fire, man.
I'm expecting it. Honestly. I've heard so much. Obviously we're having Africa joining the World Championships this year for the first time ever. So it feels like almost like a preview of this. And I've heard so much about the African teams. They're on par, if not better than Europe in some cases, right? So we're going to get to see that here. We're going to get to see... Now, Europe's been kind of dead on the international stage for the last couple of years, so they need someone to light a fire under them. Maybe the African teams coming over and do that.
Yeah, I'm hearing, actually, by the way, we don't even need that, A, B, and C, and D wheel.
Oh? Yeah, I didn't think we did.
Yeah, that's fine. They're just going to go in order. So, NRW is in Pool A, I should say. Pot A, Pool A. We just need to decide a location. Hopefully, we can do that in a sec. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of see how this plays out. We are gonna hopefully be able to speed. We're just farming you for views. Actually, I'm sorry guys. That's what this is really. But yeah, hopefully in my ears we can tell me we can have a wheel soon. If it hasn't broken, or I have enough hats back here. I can just start pulling numbers out of a hat as well.
They could do that, man. That's top tier magic.
Top tier magic. But yeah, guys, talk to me. Cal, tell me, how does it feel to have Africa finally involved in being invited to the cool kids club?
Yeah, I mean, if you did see the Curry First video dropped earlier, I think a couple of weeks back, about we've always been on the outside looking in, and now we finally get a chance to be in the World Champs, represent Africa, and yeah, this is something that we've been waiting for all our freaking lives, and we finally get a chance. So you best know we are not coming to joke, man. We are coming for that throne. Don't tell anybody I said that, man. Don't tell them. We are coming. We are coming.
All right. Do you think Africa's got a chance, Infinity? Or do you think EU is going to stay at the bottom? Or
I mean, are we talking comparatively to Europe? Are we saying comparatively to Europe, do they have a chance of doing well? Because comparatively to Europe, I mean, I have a chance of doing well, honestly. Get me in there.
Damn! No way!
Savage.
Get me in there, and I might be doing better than Europe at the champs. I don't know. We'll see. The thing is about Africa is it's just one of those things where it's I think the expectations are so low because nobody knows what to expect. Nobody's seen much from Africa outside of their own, domestic tournaments. So, they are going to be a surprise. And, it's interesting because I think one of the talking points that we've always had when it comes to, teams that you don't know about, some of the best teams in the world come champs time. They're not going to have, VOD on these teams. Maybe they'll watch this tournament and they'll be like, this is what the best African teams are going to be.
VOD.
This is it, right? This is the VOD. But they're not going to have prep to do against these guys. I think there's going to be an element of African teams can come into world champs. Or the team that qualifies, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 spots. I don't know what the spot distribution is yet. But whatever team qualifies could really come in here and surprise because nobody knows what to expect of them. You have no VOD whatsoever. So yeah, that element of a surprise I think is probably going to be the biggest positive I can give any team that qualifies to world champs from Africa.
Perfect. Well, I'm hearing we're going to go with Pool A. So A, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the wheel that we're going to pull up. And we're going to see where NRW are going to slot in. Yeah, also makes it easier that we don't need to do this A, B, C, and D wheel anymore. That's quite handy. That's makes life a little bit easier. Almost prime spot. NRW is going to slot into A2. And I can tell you, we also have quite a fancy pool graphic that we can pull out. It's going to look quite bare at the moment, I can tell you. But there is a fancy pool graphic that we can pull up. I think after we've pulled all these names, we will show you this fancy pool graphic. Let's pull another name. It's Pot A. Again, it's going to be Pot A for a while. Don't stress the small stuff. Looks like could be.
Oh wow.
It really loves the fine margins.
It loves to edge you, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it really does. Special Suicide Squad, aka Spirit. They're going to go into Pool B. Yeah, the first pot is never exciting, guys. Don't try to hype it up. It's always it is what it is.
I'd argue it's the most exciting because you know the most about the teams, right? Like, it's like, this is, if you're the rest of the teams, you're looking at like, all right, cool, I want to avoid this pot because X team is in said pot. So, yeah, I definitely, that's what I'm looking at these teams, all the teams outside of pot A, and thinking, I do not want to be in the same pot as Animus. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah, like, basically. B2, so A2, B2, pot A, pretty consistent about where they're going. So yeah, Animus and Exclusive, last two teams in pot A left. Yeah, I think I can agree with you. I think I think with Animus and Paradox even, I think if Animus and Paradox are in the same group, I think it's gonna be a little spicy. So let's see where we're putting Animus or Exclusive. Boom. It is going to be Animus in Pool C. I'm excited to see like we said at the start, right? The point about doing this like C1 to 4 is it's all about the scheduling, guys. Like, it's all about where we put kind of each of these teams in each week, so it's not like everyone against, like, especially so it's not the top EU versus the top Africa all in the same week. C4, Animus exploding into Pool C. Infinity, thoughts? Dodging Pool C, I guess.
Yeah, just don't be in Pool C. If you just don't do it, just if you're some of the top African teams. I mean, to be fair, I kind of almost want it selfishly. I want like the best team in Africa to be in Pool C now, just so we can have like Animus versus that team right off the rip. Yeah, just avoid Pool C. That's it.
Yeah. And then if we look at or Exclusive, guys, they pulled Exclusive. If we go to Pool D, we can see where Exclusive is going to end up. It's always the fun one. You don't ever need to do anything at the end there. Also, D4. Okay, so slots 2 and 4 taken up by these. And if we go to the pool graphic now, we can show you how these teams fit in. And then we can get on to pot B. Boom. Look at that. Fancy graphic.
Very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks to Prod for doing this. We appreciate them. Let's get on to pot B. Let's not mess around. Let's crack on, shall we? To find out where the second best teams in EU. If you had to pick someone from this pot, Infinity, Troglodyte Tribe, Quantic Nation, Revenge, or Maven?
I think Cantic, right? I think Cantic was the team. I don't remember the roster very well, but I think Cantic was the team. I don't know. I mean, I think because there's no U in there, I assume it's Cantic. That's how I've been pronouncing them. I think Cantic is the team you kind of want to avoid if possible, but who knows? Maven, though, is the team that ends up in the pool. Apparently, this is a team with plenty of potential, and they are a newcomer. They didn't do. I think they played 7th last season in UCE rankings. So. Not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. Excited to see what they're able to do.
Yeah, let's see where in pot A they end up. Where are we? They lost to... oh my god. They actually lost to NRW in round 1 of the qualifiers. So they played them to get here. And they will be A1. So they will be the very first game will be them versus NRW on June 2nd. So... yeah, that's gonna be an interesting game. Infinity, thoughts? You go straight back into playing NRW?
Yeah, I mean, like if you lost it, I don't know what the match score was in the qualifiers, right?
2-0.
2-0. Again, I don't even know what the specific map score though were, right? Like that could be very close. That could be a 250, 249, like overtime search and destroy. So I don't think it matters that much in the grand scheme of things, but still, you got a chance at revenge. You got to work hard to get that.
I agree, and at least you'll have tape, right? Like at least you would have found tape. So, who is going to join Spirit is the question. Cantic Nation.
I think it's meant to be Cantic, yeah.
Yeah, Quantic just sounds better. It is going to be Pool B for Cantic Nation against Spirit. I'm trying to see if these guys played each other before.
They probably did back in Season 1. Or back in the UEC. I keep calling it Season 1. It's not Season 1.
the Season 1.
They probably
season
did.
1.
Yeah.
B3. Okay, so they'll avoid Spirit initially. So at least. Like in Pool B, it'll be Africa versus EU and Africa versus EU. So, yeah, who's going to join Animus is the real question. Troglodyte Tribe or Revenge? And I have these qualifiers here, and I'm trying to see. Troglodyte Tribe played Kantic actually in the qualifiers. So yeah, some of these teams have kind of already played each other as we go through. So that's kind of exciting. The last pick. Here we go. We need like the elevator music while the.
Yeah.
It is going to be Revenge. So Revenge and Animus. Thoughts on the matchup?
Unlucky Revenge.
Yeah, sucks.
That's all I can really say. I mean,
Sucks
look, because last season we got to finals, right? And I believe, if I remember correctly, finals didn't go the way that we necessarily expected. So,
No, it's true.
I want to say that like anything can happen, but it's very difficult to imagine taking out Animus or exclusive for that matter. So you know, if you're an Inv exclusive, you have just as bad at the time.
Yeah, and we can see in Pool C where they're going to sit. Ooh. It's quite fancy, isn't it? Like, the wheel, it's better than drawing names out of the hat, I think.
It is.
Personally.
It is, yeah.
We better, definitely.
Right, Revenge against Animus, game 1. Cool. This is gonna be. That's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough.
Week one's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's week 1's gonna be a little bit hectic. And of course, Troglodyte Tribe gonna be in Pool D. So let's see where they are gonna sit. Look at that. It's always the yellow team, by the way, that ends up as the last one. I don't know what that's about. But let's see where they're going to end up. Looks like... Oh, are we going to get edged? No. It is going to be D2. So Pool A and Pool C going to be EU in week 1. And Pool P and Pool D going to be Africa and EU in matchups. Cal, we get to move to you. Infinity's job is done, basically.
He's the key, right?
We get to start with Pot C. And like you said, Paradox, Sierra 7. Thoughts? Do you think Africa can take down EU in the EACS?
Yeah, personally, I think a lot of these players, yeah, they've been playing the game for a very long time. They've been waiting for this chance. So this is, you know, them going up against those E guys who they've always seen on screens on the YouTube channels, and now they have a chance to actually go and play them on the big stage. And I think, yeah, these guys, they've been waiting, and they are going to D4. But I guess the actual games are going to tell us what we are going to find out, basically, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out. So, are we going to start with Paradox? Okay,
yes.
All right, Paradox in Pool A, NRW sweating, but Paradox should be winning this group, right, boys? Come on. Realistically,
To be fair, I think anything can happen, but I think so. I want to believe that they can actually go and get that win. I want to believe that.
all right, it is going to be Paradox into A4. All right, well. At least with the last wheel, we don't have to do anything, so that's quite handy.
True.
Yeah,
I will say just real quick here, like I think being in that group is probably the best chance of Paradox, right? If you're like an African team, it's what we were saying. But you know, if NRW International, not to take anything away from them, are the most difficult, the easiest of the 4 teams in Pot A, then that's the group you want to be in, right? So that's I think going to be the most likely chance here for an African team to take the spot in a group.
Yeah, and I believe it's top 2 of the group qualifiers, so. If I remember correctly, Sierra 7. So you basically, Cal, your top 2 teams have been pulled 1 and 2.
It's got to be them. It had to be them. I think they're just lucky they're not going up against Animus here. So that's a big joy for them right now, man. They're not going up against Animus.
Yeah. Joy. Someone has to be the sucker that goes up against Animus. Let's see where they fit into Pool B. 1 or 4. Looks like it's going to be 1. So Sierra 7 versus Spirit is going to be week number 1, and that's exciting. I think that's a good matchup. I'm excited to see that one next week. That one's going to be good. Ooh. There's some spicy matchups already. All right, Pool C, NATO or Instinct? Who's the better team here, Cal? Time to ruffle up YouTube chat.
Again, it's going to be an argument here again, but Instinct are fairly new and they are a national team, but they do have some quite good players. A region that has been neglected from Africa in a very long time, and they have some quality players that can actually contest and even PDX. So I think Instinct, unfortunately, are going to be the better side. NATO Gaming, please do not come for me and chat, guys. It's just Instinct, man. That's what I think. That's my personal view there.
Well, you have your better team in a pool with Animus, so we'll see how better they are. I can tell you that much. Instinct going to go into C1, which means, of course, NATO Gaming going into Pool D with Troglodyte Tribe and Exclusive. And yeah, we're going to see where in Pool D they're going to be. And then I think we can check in on some pools to see how it's looking. Looks like that's going to be D1. So NATO versus Troglodyte Tribe. Going to be week number 1. So for NATO, I think even though, you know, you might want to come after Cal, you have got the easiest EU team. So let's have a look at the pools before we go into the final pot. As you can see, it's spinning around. Monarchs, Eternals, Eclipse, Nonagon. Boom. Here we go. I'm thankful this is filled out properly. This is my job in the background, so I'm glad it's actually working. Talk to me, guys. So far, with one pot left to pull, which one is the hardest pull, do you think? Like, which one is the closest pull? Like, obviously, being with Animus is a hard pull, but what's the closest pull, do you think? Infinity?
It might be Pool A. I mean, I'm being told by chat that NRW International is a team you probably don't want to be underestimating. You've got Paradox in that group as well, and you know, Maven, I know that they're kind of this up and coming team. So Pool A probably looks the most daunting just at first glance, but you never know with these kind of things.
And Cal?
Yeah, man, I'm just looking at the whole thing. Pool C actually not looking bad. Instinct, they're a very top tier team there, but I don't really see them going up against Animus, and I think I think we already know who's going to get Pool C1, but you know, this is the game. Things still happen. Comebacks happen. Miracles happen. You just can't tell. But I think I'm also going to go for the Pool A. They've been the best pool so far.
Cool. All right. Speaking of Pool A, let us draw our last African team into that pool. Like I said, it is Nonagon, Eclipse, Eternals, and Monarchs. Cal, which is your team to look at out of these four as we spin the wheel?
Yeah, to be fair, Monarchs are new. They do have a lot of OG players, a lot of old names there, but they are fairly new. So I think the team chemistry is going to have a very big role to play when it comes to these games. And Eternals are going to be the ones there. So these guys are really old, but they've been out of action for a very long time. Just came back recently. So yeah, I can't really say I can speak for them or speak for their players, but I guess the game day is actually going to tell us what to expect from Eternals for the rest of the event.
Yeah, so they lost 2-0 to Paradox in the first round of these qualifiers. Of course, we're just going to spin this wheel because we don't even need the other wheel because we know where everyone's going.
That's true, yeah.
Eternals going into Pool A, so Eternals versus Paradox again. So Pool A is just a rematch of round 1 of each of the qualifiers,
Right,
actually,
so
which is kind of interesting.
Was it planned?
Yeah. I've got the script. I've got the script.
I know.
Right
It had to be, man. It had to be.
Boom. Eclipse. So it's going to be Sierra 7, Spirit, Contact Nation, and Eclipse. Thoughts on Eclipse?
Yeah, Eclipse are a very solid team. I mean, we have seen them a lot in recent times in Africa, and they've been popping off. But yeah, I think they might be able to go and take that first match up there. That's what I think.
All right. I hear it. Yeah, they're against Contact Nation. So, yeah, both of the lower seeds in Pool B against each other, which means that Pool A is going to have a top seed matchup in week 1, almost like it was planned. Eclipse, also a team that lost to Paradox 2-0. So, yeah, Paradox just beating everyone in this pool, realistically.
Everybody they win, man.
So, yeah, it's kind of how it is. Nonagon. Nonagon, unlucky.
These are...
Unlucky.
Yeah, that's what to use there. I mean, to be fair, they're not even top T1. They're more like T2I. So this is going to be T1 low, T2 high. So this is going to be a very tough one for them, man. This is not the best pot you want to be in. Not at all.
Yeah, so they will be against Instinct next week in that kind of all-African matchup. And lastly, it's quite easy. It's Monarchs, and they will be in Pool D. NATO Gaming, Troglodyte Tribe, Monarchs playing exclusive first. So I think we can just go and have a look at the full pools. I'm trying to see where Monarchs was. They lost to Instinct, so at least they're not in the same group there. Here we are, lads. Do we still think Pool A is the most even pool now that we're finished? Infinity.
I mean, it's difficult to tell, right? I mean, like, again, like it's you've got these kind of challenger teams, both from Europe and Africa, coming in and trying to beat the top teams, the best teams in the region. How do they shake things up? Like, does Eternals go into Pool A and actually do anything of note against the likes of NRW and Paradox? I don't know, honestly. Like, there's a lot of question marks. I think, we're going to find these answers pretty quickly, but I still think, for me, just on the surface, Pool A looks like one I wouldn't want to be in.
Perfect. And Cal, same for you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with everything he just said. It's still Pool A for me, man.
Perfect. And which do you think is so that's the closest pool, but which do you think is Pool C the most one-sided for the top?
Come on, guys. We all know that, man. We all know that. I don't think we need to ask, but we're just going to go say C, man. Infinity's going to agree with me on that one. It's definitely C. It's got to be C, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's not a chance that Animus don't make it out of that pool, right? Like, it's difficult not to imagine it. Like, that. Yeah, I mean, Animus is definitely going to top the group. It's just what happens beyond that. I think is maybe the only question for me.
Excellent. Well, I can also tell you, by the way, Instinct beat Nonagons in the qualifier as well. So 2 qualifying matchups for Africa. But guys, that is it. That is us done. Short and sweet. We have 4 pools. And pool play is going to kick off, like I said, the 2nd of June, Maven versus NRW International, followed by Eternals versus Paradox. And if I remember correctly, if I can scroll back up here, I think it kicks off 9 p.m. Central Eastern Time.
Yes,
let me grab that. Yeah,
that's
9
correct.
p.m. Central Eastern Time for Game 1. Game 2 is 10 p.m. Central Eastern Time. And that will be the 2nd of June, the 3rd of June, the 5th, the 6th. And we have 3 weeks of games. So 9th, 10th, 12th, 13th, and 16, 17, 19, 20. And then the knockout stage, 23rd, 24th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. So, guys, you're going to have an entire June stacked with COD-M, the best African and European teams that you can possibly find will be here. Better be the best teams you can possibly find will be here. Guys, final thoughts? Excited? Let's just crack on.
Yeah, very. This is going to be great. I'm really excited to see Africa come in against Europe for the first time. I think, not just for Africa, to be here and, it's kind of a stepping stone to champs, to see the best of the best in that region, but also because I do believe this is the best possible thing for Europe, to see the best in each region go head to head. I think it's the kind of thing that Europe needs to get better, because they do need to get better ahead of champs, right? I don't want to see another champs where Europe bottoms out in last place. I don't want to see it, all right? If you do it, I may be disappointed. But that's what I want to see from Europe, and I think Africa is going to bring that to the table.
Cal?
Yeah, so I want to go look for a little trouble before we end the stream here. So I'm just going to ask you guys, just one answer. You can't think, you can't just, you can't put it around. Just straight to the point here. What do you think is actually going to go win the whole thing? Infinity for you first. Who's going to win the whole thing?
Who's going to win the whole thing?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to throw a curveball, mate. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say Spirit. I'm a big Special Suicide Squad fan from the last season of SPS. Absolutely love those guys. I said it. I think they've got, a little bit more practice under them. They've got a hell of a lot of firepower on their roster. I'm going to say Spirit's going to upset everybody here.
That's bold. How about you, Captain? What do you think?
All right. Well, everyone's picking Animus. You know what? Exclusive. I think it could work. I think it could work out. I think it's a spicy group as well. I think if they can get past that group, I think they got a real good shot. So that's it for me. Both EU teams, I guess that's us. But you, Cal?
Bias to you.
Yeah,
biased. No, I have got to be with my boys here. So of course it's going to be an African team. But I'm just straight to the point. PDX, man, no doubt. PDX.
Yeah. All right. Love it. Well, you heard it from us. But guys, don't forget, tune in right here next Tuesday. Tuesday? Well, let's make sure I get the date right. Monday. Monday. You don't even have to wait that long. We will see you here Monday, 9 p.m. CET. You won't want to miss it, guys. EAC 2025. Gonna be insane. We'll catch you then. See you soon.